Hello, I'm teacher Karina and I'm here to talk to you about one of the commonest grammar mistakes Brazilian students make: relative clauses. Think of a clause as a sentence with one verb. In order to avoid repetition of words, we use a relative pronoun to substitute for what you need to say twice. In this case, the relative pronoun that works as a subject. In this case, the relative pronoun which works as an object. Relative clauses are used to join two sentences or to give more information about something or someone. When it comes to writing, they play a very important role as cohesive devices. However, note that what is not a relative pronoun. Whenever you feel tempted to use what to put two sentences together, try and remember the correct pronoun will be which. By the way, make sure to spell which correctly. Skipping an H is a very common spelling mistake that causes a terrible impression on the reader. And make sure not to change the meaning of what you want to say. Subject relative clauses are used when the relative pronoun replaces the subject of the main clause or refers to the subject. The relative pronouns you can use are who, which, that, and whose. You cannot omit the pronoun. Object relative clauses are used when the relative pronoun replaces the object of the main clause or refers to the object. The relative pronouns you can use are who or whom, which, that, or whose. You can omit the pronoun when using object relative clauses. Even though the name may sound weird, defining relative clauses are a vital part of the meaning of a sentence. They define who or what you are talking about. This is the reason why you cannot use commas with defining relative clauses. Keep in mind that the pronoun can only be omitted if it refers to the object. Note that other relative pronouns are also possible. To explain reason, we use why. To mention time, we use when. To describe place, we use where. On the other hand, non-defining relative clauses add extra information that is not essential to the meaning of the sentence. In other words, it could be left out. This is the reason why you must use commas with non-defining relative clauses. Keep in mind that the relative pronoun cannot be omitted. Actually, one of the most important implications in your writing is that the relative pronoun that cannot be used in non-defining relative clauses. So, whenever in doubt, go for which and who instead of that, as they will always be correct in both defining and non-defining relative clauses. Sometimes, when using object relative clauses, there will be a word that calls for a dependent preposition. You can either place the preposition at the very end of the sentence, which is the colloquial alternative, or you can place it in front of the relative pronoun. This alternative is more formal and therefore more appropriate when you're writing. Note that in this case, the pronoun cannot be removed. You may also need to identify a certain number of people or things from a group in an object relative clause. In order to do this, you will use quantifiers. In this case, the relative pronoun cannot be omitted. Note that the use of the form whom is compulsory after a preposition, so don't use who whenever it is placed after a preposition. Okay? Thanks for watching. Bye.